Welcome to another episode of our favorite new horror trailers, the series where we discuss our favorites of all the new horror trailers that were released last month. All the trailers discussed will be linked below. Don't forget to leave a comment letting us know what you think of these trailers. And if you like this video, would you kindly subscribe? Now, on with the trailers. Dangerous Animals. A savvy and free-spirited surfer is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer. Held captive on his boat, she must figure out how to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. Dangerous Animals is directed by Sean Byrne, who also directed The Devil's Candy and The Loved Ones, and stars Jai Courtney, who you might remember from Suicide Squad, Terminator Genesis, A Good Day to Die Hard, and the Divergent series. Dangerous Animals releases in theaters June 6th. I really like how different the MO is for the serial killer in this movie. The fact that he feeds them to sharks is really different. I'm really curious if they explain his motivation and how he picks his victims. Judging from the trailer, he's been doing this for a long time. He keeps a piece of the person's hair. I'm assuming it's all women, but you never know. He also likes to videotape all of these. So he has all these videotape cassettes, and inside the sleeve of the cassette or whatnot, he puts the locket of hair, which honestly would get you caught really quick. They got all the evidence right there. I feel like maybe he should do a better job of hiding that, but I digress. I'm actually really excited to see Jai Courtney do something just different. I feel like he's always been in these over-the-top action type movies, and usually he plays the good guy or something like that, but I know in the Divergent series he was kind of an ass, but this he can kind of go full on because it's an R-rated film and he's playing a serial killer. There's some shots in the movie where he's dancing around in his robe, and it really kind of reminded me of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, just being a weird serial killer guy in your robe with your chest hanging out. What are you doing, sir? Also, I'm kind of curious what time period this takes place in, only because he's recording all of these acts on VHS tapes. So I'm curious if this actually takes place in the 90s, or is it present day and he just is old school and likes to record shit on VHS because VHS is awesome. I'm curious if there's going to be a longer trailer released between now and June 6th, because they don't show anything with the girl and her being abducted and everything like that, because obviously it follows some kind of surfer girl that gets kidnapped by Jai Courtney, and I'm assuming she's going to get loose in some way, and there's going to be like this cat and mouse situation on his boat. But the movie looks fun. The movie looks really interesting. And honestly, I'm just kind of down to see Jai Courtney be weird. So cannot wait to check this one out. Silent Hill F. We haven't talked about any video game trailers in a very long time because honestly, there hasn't been any horror video game trailers that have come out that have really just wowed me and made me want to put it in one of the videos. Silent Hill F is an upcoming survival horror video game developed by Neobards Entertainment. It is the 8th mainline game in the Silent Hill franchise and is set in the 1960s in a fictional town in Japan. It follows Hinako Shimizu, a high school student who navigates the town, now consumed by fog, while solving puzzles and fighting grotesque monsters to survive. Announced in 2022, Silent Hill F does not have a release date as of yet, but is scheduled to release on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. I am a huge fan of the Silent Hill franchise. I think the first Silent Hill movie was awesome. The second one is sort of like a guilty pleasure. It's really not the best thing in the world, but it's fun to watch. I love how Silent Hill's kind of having like a resurgence as of recently. They made the Silent Hill 2 remake that came out last year, and I finally got to play it not too long ago, and it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. The main thing that really makes this much different than the other Silent Hill video games is it doesn't take place in America, in the town of Silent Hill. So that's one thing that really has me interested in this game. And when I was doing research for this video, I found a little snippet that said that Konami felt like the series had become over-westernized. So the developers moved away from the Silent Hill town where the previous entries took place and instead set the game in Japan to reinforce a stronger Japanese identity. And honestly, I love Japanese horror, or J-horror as they call it. There's a lot of Japanese horror movies out there that are just amazing. And I always tell people, if you can get past reading subtitles, there is a whole new just ocean of horror movies that you could be watching that you are missing out on. One thing that I really, really like about this trailer is that the imagery, although dark and grotesque in parts, is very just beautiful. All the reds and everything and the plant life and the flowers and all that stuff, it's really just beautiful looking in a dark and twisted kind of way. So even though this is a departure from the previous Silent Hill games and it's taking place in Japan and all of that, I'm really kind of curious how much quote unquote Silent Hill stuff will be in this game. Is it going to be a complete departure altogether and really not have anything connecting it to Silent Hill? The point I'm getting at is, will there be a monster or something that will kind of connect the two together so you know when you're playing it, you're like, yes, this is a Silent Hill game. For example, is Pyramid Head going to show up? People that are fans of the franchise will have that kind of connection to bring them into this new Japanese territory. The main girl that I'm assuming you play as looks like she's going to go through hell. And there's a shot at the end of the trailer where she's holding a pipe. It just looks awesome. Her schoolgirl outfit or whatever that she's wearing is all torn up and bloody. And I really just cannot wait to play this. The game looks beautiful. Everything about it just looks great. I don't mind playing this game in Japanese and having the subtitles there. I don't care. I cannot wait to play this. I am assuming that this game will come out in 2025, but fingers crossed. If you haven't watched this trailer yet, go and check it out. It looks awesome. Final Destination: Bloodlines. Plagued by a violent, reoccurring nightmare, college student Stephanie heads home to track down the one person who might be able to break the cycle and save her family from the grisly demise that inevitably awaits them all. Final Destination: Bloodlines stars the legendary Tony Todd, which, rest in peace, this will be one of his last movies he will appear in. According to his IMDb, he actually has like 7 or 8 movies that are not released yet, this being one of them. I guess he was a very busy man when it came to acting, so good for him. If you don't know who Tony Todd is, I feel bad for you. I'm not going to sit here and list out everything that he's done, but he is a legend in the horror community and he will be sadly missed. Final Destination: Bloodlines releases in theaters May 16th. So I almost talked about this film either last month or the month before. I can't remember exactly. They released a teaser trailer and it was a guy in a tattoo shop, and it really just revolved around that one scene of the guy in the tattoo shop and all the Final Destination craziness happening in the tattoo shop and the guy pretty much trying not to get killed. But I ended up not talking about it strictly because it was a teaser trailer, and with the movie not coming out until May, I knew that they were going to put out some kind of full trailer that would show a little bit more of what the movie's going to be about. That being said, though, this full trailer does show a lot of scenes from this backyard barbecue that this family is having. And it seems like a lot of these people aren't going to make it through the barbecue. a bunch of Final Destination type things start happening. Your typical ridiculousness that makes these movies just a blast to watch. I know some of the Final Destination movies aren't really the best. For me personally, I think the first movie and the third movie are my favorites. I was kind of hoping with the subtitle of Bloodlines that there would be maybe some kind of connection to previous characters that have appeared in the Final Destination films, but it seems as though, based on this trailer, it has nothing to do with any of the previous Final Destination films. It's really just about this family. I guess there is a grandmother who escaped death at some point in the past, and because she escaped death, now her family exists because she lived through it, and the family shouldn't have existed, and now death is coming after all of them. Why he waited so long, we don't know. Again, I have a gripe with the title. Why is it called Final Destination Bloodlines? Why not Final Destination 6 Bloodlines? But I digress. I just hate it when Hollywood takes numbers out of things. Like, come on. Anyway, the grandmother survived an event that took place in the past, and they show some snippets from it. I'm assuming that that's probably how the opening of the film is going to go. It's going to start with this flashback of what seems to be like the 50s or the 60s or something like that. And there's all these people having like a ball or a dance of some kind in the top of this tower. And I guess for some reason, the tower just falls apart and blows up and everybody dies. But I'm assuming that this grandmother sees a vision, sort of like how everybody sees a vision in the opening of the film. And she and some of her friends are probably going to get out of the tower before shit hits the fan. And then that's how we lead into present day with her grandchildren living now and shouldn't be living because her grandmother wasn't supposed to make it out of the tower. But like I said, you really can't go wrong with a Final Destination film. Cannot wait to see what this film has in store for the over-the-top death scenes. So cannot wait to check this one out. As always, thank you so much for watching. Again, a link to all the trailers are down below, along with our store and social media pages. Go and check out the trailers. Leave us a comment letting us know your thoughts. Until next time.